Have you ever wondered what the world was like long before skyscrapers and smartphones? Before the hum of modern cities, ancient empires rose and fell, leaving behind echoes of their greatness. They built wonders, massive, breathtaking creations that proved the power and imagination of humankind. Though most are lost to time, their legends still resonate through history. Today, we begin a journey to rediscover these marvels. These are the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Our first stop takes us to the golden sands of Egypt's Giza Plateau. Here, the Great Pyramid stands as a silent witness to human ambition and ingenuity. Built over 4,500 years ago, around 2560 BCE, it was constructed as a final resting place for Pharaoh Khufu, or as the Greeks called him, Cheops. But to call it just a tomb barely scratches the surface. This was a monument designed to transcend time, a statement of divine power that continues to inspire awe to this day. Just try to imagine the challenge. Millions of limestone and granite blocks, each weighing several tons, had to be moved across the desert and fitted together with astonishing precision. How did they do it? For centuries, scholars and engineers have debated the methods. Some theories suggest massive spiraling ramps, while others propose ingenious pulley systems. There are even a few who speculate about lost technologies. Whatever the method, the result is a structure so precise that its base is nearly perfectly level, and its sides align almost exactly with the 4 cardinal directions. It's a feat of engineering that would be a challenge even with today's technology. But the Great Pyramid isn't just a marvel of construction. It's a profound testament to the Egyptians' beliefs. For Pharaoh Khufu, this pyramid was his stairway to eternity, a bridge connecting the mortal world to the divine. Deep within its chambers and passageways, sacred rituals were performed to ensure his safe journey into the afterlife. Gold, priceless treasures, and sacred texts were buried alongside him, intended to serve him in the next world. Every stone, every angle, and every corridor was meticulously planned to reflect cosmic harmony and the pharaoh's divine status. It was a physical prayer, etched in stone. Think about the sheer scale of the operation. Building the Great Pyramid also symbolized the incredible power and organization of the Egyptian state. Coordinating a workforce of thousands, laborers, artisans, and engineers, required administrative skill on a level that's hard to comprehend. The project likely took decades to complete, demanding not just labor, but also a complex logistical network for food, housing, and supplies. This was a civilization capable of uniting tens of thousands of people under a single monumental vision, creating something that could withstand the centuries. And perhaps that's what makes the Great Pyramid truly extraordinary: its endurance. Of all the 7 wonders of the ancient world, it is the only one that has survived. It has weathered earthquakes, stood against the relentless desert winds, and endured the plundering of tomb robbers. Yet it remains a powerful testament to human ingenuity and ambition. Every year, it draws millions of visitors, each one standing in awe of a creation built millennia before the existence of modern machinery. It's a humbling experience to stand in its shadow. Beyond its sheer size, scholars are still uncovering the mathematical and astronomical knowledge embedded in its design. For example, some alignments within the pyramid correspond to the stars of Orion's belt, symbolically linking the pharaoh to the heavens and the god Osiris. The structure's proportions, its internal ratios, and the layout of its chambers reveal a sophisticated understanding of geometry and astronomy that seems remarkably advanced for its time. The Great Pyramid wasn't just built to impress mortals. It was a message sent to the cosmos, a declaration that humanity could aspire to the divine. Standing here, in the shadow of its towering silhouette, the sands of time seem to almost stand still. Here at Giza, you can see the pinnacle of human creativity in its purest form, a vision turned into stone, a dream made eternal. The Great Pyramid is so much more than a tomb. It's a symbol of our enduring desire to reach beyond our mortal limits, to leave a mark on the world that will be remembered forever. It reminds us of what we're capable of when we work together towards a grand vision. As we leave the Giza Plateau, our journey is far from over. We turn our gaze eastward, across deserts and rivers, to a wonder shrouded in mystery and romance. Far to the east, nestled along the banks of the legendary Euphrates River, lies a story that has captivated our minds for centuries. It's the tale of a wonder so enchanting, it feels more like a dream than a historical fact: the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Unlike the Great Pyramid, which stands defiantly against the sands of time, the gardens are a ghost. We know them not from stone and mortar, but from the elegant prose of ancient writers who painted a picture of a paradise suspended in the air. Yet this legend of a floating oasis has survived, a powerful symbol of human ingenuity, deep romance, and breathtaking ambition. The story begins, as many great legends do, with a king and his queen. Around 600 BCE, the mighty king Nebuchadnezzar II ruled Babylon. His wife, Amytis of Media, hailed from a land of green hills and lush forests. She found herself in the flat, sun-baked plains of Mesopotamia, and her heart ached with longing for the vibrant landscapes of her home. To soothe her homesickness and prove his devotion, Nebuchadnezzar embarked on an audacious project. He commanded the creation of an extraordinary garden, a tiered masterpiece that would bring the mountains of Media to the heart of his desert kingdom. Imagine it, a man-made mountain of green, where vines and trees seemed to float above the bustling city, and flowers bloomed in cascading layers of color. This wasn't just a garden, it was a grand declaration of love, etched into the very skyline of Babylon. So, how was this impossible feat achieved? Ancient historians like Strabo and Philo of Byzantium described a structure that was nothing short of an engineering marvel. They spoke of a series of ascending terraces, built like the steps of a giant staircase reaching for the heavens. These terraces were supported by massive stone columns and intricate vaulted arches, but the true genius lay in its lifeblood, the irrigation system. A sophisticated network of pumps, water screws, and channels worked tirelessly, drawing water from the mighty Euphrates and lifting it high into the air to nourish the uppermost levels. Think about that for a moment. This was a hydraulic system so advanced it would challenge even modern engineers. It was a self-sustaining ecosystem built in the desert. The gardens themselves were said to be a botanical treasure trove. They were filled with exotic plants, fragrant fruit trees, and flowering vines gathered from every corner of the known world. It was a symphony of colors, scents, and life, a vibrant green sanctuary thriving amidst the arid, dusty landscape of Babylon. It was an oasis in the truest sense of the word, a testament to the king's power to bend nature to his will. For anyone who laid eyes on it, it must have seemed like a piece of heaven had descended to earth. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Despite these vivid descriptions and its legendary status, the very existence of the Hanging Gardens is a hot topic of debate among historians and archaeologists. To this day, no definitive archaeological evidence has ever been unearthed in the ruins of ancient Babylon. Not a single foundation stone, not a fragment of the irrigation system. This absence has led to some compelling theories. One popular idea is that the gardens did exist, but not in Babylon. Some scholars suggest they were located in Nineveh, the capital of the rival Assyrian Empire, and that ancient writers simply confused the two cities over time. Another theory is that the Euphrates River, which is known to have shifted its course over the millennia, may have simply washed away or buried the garden's foundations, erasing them from the physical world forever. In a way, this mystery only adds to their magic, doesn't it? The Hanging Gardens have become a wonder so beautiful, so ethereal, that its memory alone has proven more powerful than stone. It exists in a realm between history and myth, a place that fires up our imagination. The uncertainty makes us lean in closer, trying to piece together the clues of this ancient puzzle. What we know for sure is the profound impact the idea of the Hanging Gardens had on the ancient world. They became a symbol of the incredible things humanity could create when driven by love and a bold vision. Imagine being a traveler in antiquity, hearing whispers of a lush, green paradise rising from the barren desert sands. It would have sounded almost divine, a fleeting glimpse of an otherworldly realm. The gardens represented not just the immense wealth and power of a king, but also a universal human desire that we all share, the drive to create beauty and life, even in the most impossible of circumstances. And let's not forget the sheer engineering brilliance it represented. The challenge of raising colossal volumes of water to feed the terraces was a monumental achievement. The systems they designed, the pumps, the aqueducts, were precursors to technologies that would shape civilizations for centuries to come. Every stone, every channel, and every terrace was a testament to the Babylonian mastery of architecture, hydraulics, and horticulture. This was a place where science and art danced together, where human creativity challenged the very limits of nature itself and won. It was a fusion of logic and beauty, a perfectly engineered paradise. Though the physical structure of the Hanging Gardens may be lost to time, their legend is more alive than ever. They are immortalized in ancient texts, in artistic renderings, and most importantly, in the imaginations of countless generations who dream of a garden suspended in the air. The story of the Hanging Gardens reminds us of a powerful truth. Not all wonders need to be carved in stone to leave a lasting mark on the world. Sometimes a story, a dream, or an idea is powerful enough to achieve eternity. From this mythic floating oasis in the east, our journey through the ancient wonders now takes us westward. We travel to the heart of Greece, to a sacred sanctuary where divinity itself was given form. Our next stop, Olympia, home to the magnificent statue of Zeus, where a god sat immortalized in shimmering gold and ivory, gazing down upon mortals and reminding them of the awe-inspiring power of both the gods and human artistry. Across the sun-drenched plains of Olympia, in the heart of ancient Greece, stood a marvel that captured the imagination of every visitor: the statue of Zeus. Erected around 435 BCE by the legendary sculptor Phidias, this colossal figure wasn't just a work of art. It was the embodiment of divine authority, a testament to human skill, and a relentless pursuit of perfection. Can you imagine it? The statue dominated the great Temple of Zeus, its sheer presence filling the sacred space with a palpable sense of awe and reverence. Picture this, towering over 12 meters high, that's more than 40 feet. It depicted Zeus seated on a magnificent throne. His expression was serene yet commanding, his body sculpted with flawless, perfect proportions. The figure itself was crafted from ivory and gold, a technique known as chryselephantine. It would have gleamed in the dim light of the temple, with precious stones adorning the throne and robes, showcasing the incredible mastery the Greeks had over their materials and their deep devotion to beauty. Pilgrims and athletes flocked to Olympia for the famous Olympic Games. As they entered the temple, they would have gazed up at Zeus, a powerful reminder that all their victories, all their struggles, all their human endeavors existed under the watchful eyes of the gods. Phidias's creation was so much more than a sculpture. It was a powerful symbol of Greek religion, culture, and ambition. The statue perfectly reflected the Greeks' advanced understanding of human anatomy and proportion. Every single detail, from the intricate carvings on the throne depicting mythological scenes to the lifelike flowing folds of Zeus's robe, was meticulously crafted to evoke wonder and inspire true devotion. In a world where gods were thought to walk among mortals only in myths and legends, this statue brought the divine closer. It allowed everyday people to feel like they were standing in the presence of immortality itself, if only for a moment. The Temple of Zeus, with its grand Doric columns and majestic design, was the perfect home for this masterpiece. Together, the temple and the statue created a truly immersive experience. It was a sacred space where art, religion, and human aspiration all merged into one. Visitors weren't just looking at a statue. They were meant to feel the presence of Zeus, not as some distant myth, but as a tangible, powerful force guiding their lives, inspiring their courage, and reminding them of both the limits and the incredible potential of humanity. But, like so many wonders of the ancient world, the statue of Zeus was not destined to last forever. Over the centuries, devastating earthquakes and destructive fires ravaged the site, eventually destroying both the temple and the precious statue within. All that remains today are the vivid descriptions left behind by ancient travelers and historians, like the writer Pausanias, who chronicled its splendor. And yet, the grandeur of Phidias's creation has endured. The stories and sketches, though few, have inspired countless generations of artists and sculptors, reminding the world of the breathtaking heights human hands can reach when guided by devotion and a powerful imagination. The statue of Zeus truly exemplifies a key truth about the wonders of the ancient world. They were never just monuments. They were bridges connecting the mortal and the divine, powerful testaments to the ingenuity of their creators, and enduring symbols of the cultures that built them. Though the golden and ivory figure itself has vanished into the mists of time, its vision endures. It serves as a timeless reminder of an era when art and faith converged to create something that felt, and in many ways was, eternal. From the divine majesty of Olympia, our journey continues. From the divine majesty of Olympia, we now journey to the shores of modern-day Turkey, to the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, a sanctuary of breathtaking beauty, a place where architecture, religion, and human ambition combine to honor one of the most revered goddesses of antiquity. On the western coast of Asia Minor, in what is now modern-day Turkey, once stood a marvel of architectural grandeur, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. Dedicated to Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and protector of women, this temple was more than a place of worship. It was a testament to human ambition, devotion, and artistic mastery. Travelers from across the ancient world marveled at its scale, beauty, and the sheer extravagance of its design. This wasn't just a building, it was a dazzling testament to faith, artistry, and human ambition, dedicated to Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, the wilderness, and the protector of women. Imagine traveling back in time, approaching the magnificent city of Ephesus. Long before you reached the city gates, you'd see it, a brilliant white beacon gleaming on the horizon. The Temple of Artemis was more than a place of worship. It was a landmark that drew travelers, merchants, and pilgrims from every corner of the ancient world. They came not just to pray, but to marvel at its sheer extravagance, a structure so grand it seemed to touch the heavens. The temple's story is one of destruction and rebirth, much like the myths it honored. It was rebuilt several times, but its most glorious form emerged around 550 BCE. This legendary reconstruction was funded by none other than King Croesus of Lydia, a man whose name became synonymous with immense wealth. And he spared no expense. The entire temple was constructed from pure, glistening marble, making it one of the largest temples ever built in the ancient world. Think about that for a moment. A structure of this magnitude, crafted entirely from one of the most precious building materials available. Its scale was simply staggering. The temple boasted over 100 towering columns, each one reaching towards the sky. But these weren't just plain pillars. Each column was a masterpiece in its own right, intricately carved with detailed reliefs telling stories of gods, heroes, and nature. As the Mediterranean sun beat down, the polished marble would have reflected the light, creating a spectacle of shimmering grandeur that was visible for miles. It was a symbol of both spiritual devotion and immense civic pride for the people of Ephesus. But the history of this magnificent structure is also tied to a dark chapter of human ambition. In 356 BCE, the temple was destroyed by a devastating fire. This was no accident. The blaze was deliberately set by a man named Herostratus, whose sole motivation was to achieve eternal fame by committing an act of unforgivable sacrilege. He wanted his name to echo through history, even if it was for an act of destruction. Did he succeed? In a way, yes, as we still speak his name today. But the people of Ephesus refused to let one man's vanity eclipse their devotion. In an incredible display of resilience, they decided to rebuild. And they didn't just restore the temple. They made it even grander, more opulent, and more beautiful than before. This act transformed the Temple of Artemis into something more than a religious sanctuary. It became a powerful symbol of rebirth, a defiant statement that human creativity and reverence could rise, phoenix-like, from the ashes of destruction. The new temple was a gallery of human artistry, both inside and out. Every corner was adorned with breathtaking sculptures created by the most renowned artists of the age. These statues weren't just decorative, they were storytellers in stone, depicting epic tales of gods and heroes, famous battles, and triumphant victories. The level of craftsmanship was astonishing, showcasing a masterful understanding of proportion, perspective, and the human form that rivaled the greatest works of art from Athens or Rome. Walking through its halls must have been a truly humbling experience. The sheer size of the structure, combined with the delicate, lifelike detail of its art, would have created an overwhelming sense of awe. Visitors would feel small in the presence of the divine, yet simultaneously inspired by the incredible skill and creativity of their fellow mortals. It was a space designed to elevate the human spirit. Beyond its religious and artistic importance, the Temple of Artemis was the beating heart of the city's cultural and economic life. It was a vibrant hub where the sacred and the secular met. Imagine the bustling atmosphere during major festivals. The temple grounds would have been filled with crowded markets, with merchants selling goods from across the known world. Religious rituals and grand processions brought people from all walks of life together, fostering a sense of community and shared identity. Artemis was more than just a distant goddess to be worshipped. She was celebrated as the protector and unifying figure of Ephesus. Each year, thousands of pilgrims would flock to the city to pay their respects, bringing with them wealth, new ideas, and cultural exchange. The temple's influence radiated across the Aegean Sea, cementing Ephesus's status as one of the most important and cosmopolitan cities of the ancient world. Ultimately, like all the wonders of the ancient world, the Temple of Artemis could not stand against the relentless march of time. It was eventually destroyed by invading forces and left to the ravages of nature. Today, only a few fragments and a single reconstructed column mark the spot where this architectural marvel once stood. Yet, the Temple of Artemis remains immortal. Its legacy is preserved not just in scattered pieces of marble, but in the awe-inspired accounts of ancient historians who described its splendor for future generations. It serves as a powerful reminder that when faith, beauty, and human ambition unite, they can create something so magnificent that its story transcends the limits of time. From the marble splendor of Ephesus, our journey now takes us to another marvel born from a profound human emotion: grief. We travel to the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus, also in modern-day Turkey. Here, in what is now the city of Bodrum, a queen's love for her late husband was carved into a tomb so monumental that it would lend its name to all grand tombs that followed. Ever heard of a love story so powerful it created one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world? A story of grief and devotion so profound, it gave us a word we still use today? Let's travel back in time, to the sun-drenched shores of the Aegean Sea, to a city called Halicarnassus. Today we know it as Bodrum, Turkey, but around 350 BCE, it was the stage for an architectural marvel born from a broken heart. This is the story of the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. It was built not for a god, but for a man, Mausolus, a Persian governor or satrap of a region called Caria. But the driving force behind this colossal project wasn't Mausolus himself. It was his wife, Artemisia II, and in a fascinating twist, she was also his sister. This was a common practice in the Carian dynasty to keep power and wealth within the family. When Mausolus died, Artemisia's grief was legendary. Ancient writers tell us she was so consumed by sorrow that she mixed his ashes with her daily drink, literally absorbing him into her being. But her most enduring act of love was the decision to build him a tomb so spectacular, so magnificent, that the world would never forget his name. And so she began a project that would echo through eternity. This wasn't just going to be a simple burial chamber. Artemisia envisioned a declaration, a monument that would shout Mausolus's power, their shared love, and her undying devotion from the mountaintops. She spared no expense, summoning the absolute rock stars of the ancient Greek art world. Imagine getting a call from the queen and being told, "Budget is no object. I want you to create a masterpiece." The sculptors who answered that call were the best of the best. Names like Scopas, Leochares, Bryaxis, and Timotheus. Each was a master in their own right, and they were each assigned one side of the monument to adorn with their genius. What they created together was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The mausoleum wasn't just a building, it was a fusion of cultures, a symphony in stone. It soared 45 meters into the sky. That's about the height of a 14-story building today. Its design was a brilliant blend of three distinct architectural styles. The base was solid and rectangular, reflecting the local Lycian tradition of raised tombs. Above that, it was surrounded by a colonnade of 36 Ionic Greek columns, giving it an air of Hellenistic grace and elegance. And crowning it all was a stepped pyramid roof with 24 levels, an influence from ancient Egypt. At the very peak, a triumphant marble chariot pulled by 4 massive horses seemed ready to carry Mausoleum's spirit into the heavens. The entire structure was a canvas for breathtaking art. The lower levels were covered in sculpted friezes, long, continuous bands of relief carvings. These weren't just random decorations. They told epic stories. One side depicted the legendary battle between the Greeks and the Amazons, the fierce warrior women of myth. Another showed the chaotic fight between the Lapiths and the Centaurs, a classic Greek theme symbolizing the struggle between civilization and barbarism. These scenes were packed with action, drama, and raw emotion, all carved from pristine white marble. Higher up, the spaces between the columns were filled with larger-than-life statues of gods, goddesses, and heroes. Sculptors carved portraits of Mausoleum's ancestors, linking his reign to a divine and heroic past. And everywhere, there were lions, guardians of the tomb, standing watch for eternity. The sheer amount of detail was staggering. Every surface was designed to communicate power, legitimacy, and a connection to the divine. This wasn't just a tomb for a dead ruler. It was a political statement and a work of art, a celebration of life, leadership, and an unbreakable bond of love. Imagine being a traveler in the 4th century BCE, sailing into the harbor of Halicarnassus. The first thing you would see, shimmering in the Mediterranean sun, would be this colossal white marble monument dominating the skyline. It would have been an awe-inspiring, almost overwhelming sight. It was so famous, so utterly unique, that people from all over the ancient world journeyed to see it. It quickly earned a spot on the definitive list of must-see sites, the 7 wonders of the ancient world, alongside giants like the pyramids of Giza and the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And here's where its legacy gets even more interesting. The structure was so tied to the man it was built for, Mausoleum, that his name became the generic term for any large, stately tomb. That's right. The word we use today, mausoleum, comes directly from this one incredible monument built by a grieving queen. Every time we hear that word, we are unknowingly paying tribute to a Persian satrap and the wife who refused to let his memory fade. The mausoleum stood for an astonishingly long time, bearing witness to the rise and fall of empires. It survived Alexander the Great's conquests. It saw the Roman Empire expand across the Mediterranean. For over 1,500 years, it stood as a silent testament to Artemisia's love. But even wonders built of stone cannot defy the forces of nature forever. A series of powerful earthquakes striking the region between the 12th and 15th centuries began to take their toll. The magnificent structure weakened, crumbled, and eventually collapsed into a mountain of rubble. What the earthquakes didn't destroy, humans repurposed. In the 15th century, the Knights of St. John arrived in the area and needed to fortify their castle, the nearby Bodrum Castle, which still stands today. They looked at the ruins of the once great mausoleum and saw a convenient quarry. They dismantled the remaining stones and marble blocks, using them to strengthen their fortress walls. If you visit Bodrum Castle today, you can still see polished marble blocks from the mausoleum embedded in the medieval fortifications. A strange second life for the ancient wonder. For centuries, the exact location of the mausoleum was lost to history. It wasn't until the 1850s that a British archaeologist named Charles Thomas Newton, funded by the British Museum, embarked on a quest to find it. He spent years digging, following clues from ancient texts. Finally, his team unearthed the foundations, fragments of the friezes, pieces of the chariot statue, and, incredibly, 2 large statues believed to be the portraits of Mausoleum and Artemisia themselves. These priceless artifacts were shipped to London, and today they form a centerpiece of the British Museum's collection. Standing before the statue of Mausoleum, you can still see the masterful carving, the sense of calm authority in his face. And when you look at the recovered pieces of the Amazon frieze, the dynamic motion and emotional intensity of the battle are still palpable after more than 2 millennia. While the monument itself is gone, these fragments allow us to connect directly with the artists who created it and the story it was meant to tell. Back in Bodrum, all that remains on the original site are the foundations and a small museum, a quiet, ghostly footprint of the grandeur that once stood there. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus reminds us that the great wonders of the world weren't always about religion or military might. Sometimes they were deeply personal monuments, born from the most powerful human emotions, love and loss. Artemisia set out to honor her husband, but in doing so, she created a legacy that far outlasted his empire. She turned her grief into a masterpiece of art and engineering, crafting a story in stone that has survived for thousands of years. It's a powerful testament to the human desire to create beauty, to defy mortality, and to ensure that the ones we love are never truly forgotten. The story of the mausoleum is one of personal devotion becoming a global icon. But not all wonders were built for individuals. Some were built to celebrate the collective spirit of a city, a symbol of freedom and defiance against overwhelming odds. From the eternal love etched into the stones of Halicarnassus, we now turn our gaze to the island of Rhodes, where a bronze giant stood guard over a harbor, a triumphant colossus that celebrated victory and the unyielding spirit of human achievement. On the sunlit shores of the island of Rhodes, in Greece, stood a figure so immense and awe-inspiring that travelers from across the ancient world would speak of it in wonder: the Colossus of Rhodes. Erected around 280 BCE, this giant bronze statue was built to celebrate Rhodes' victory over the invading forces of Cyprus, a symbol of freedom, resilience, and the triumph of human spirit. The people of Rhodes had just survived a year-long siege, a brutal and relentless attack by the powerful forces of Demetrius Poliorcetes, one of Alexander the Great's successors. Against all odds, the Rhodians held their ground. When Demetrius finally retreated, he left behind a treasure trove of abandoned siege equipment, towers, catapults, and weapons. The Rhodians, filled with relief and immense pride, decided to do something extraordinary. They sold off the abandoned war machines and used the profits to build a monument that would shout their victory to the world. But this wasn't just any monument. They decided to honor their patron god, Helios, the god of the sun, who they believed had watched over them and protected their island. And what better way to honor the sun god than to build a statue so tall it could almost touch the sky? This was the birth of the Colossus of Rhodes. The man entrusted with this monumental task was the sculptor Charis of Lindos. He had studied under the great Lysippos, who had sculpted Alexander the Great himself. Charis envisioned a statue on a scale never before attempted. The final creation stood approximately 33 meters, or 108 feet, tall. To put that into perspective, that's roughly the height of the Statue of Liberty, from her heel to the top of her head. In a world of mostly 1- or 2-story buildings, the Colossus would have been an absolute giant, dominating the skyline of Rhodes. Now, let's address the most famous image associated with the Colossus: the statue straddling the harbor entrance, with ships sailing between its legs. It's a powerful and romantic image, one that has been depicted in art for centuries. But did it actually stand like that? Most modern historians and engineers think probably not. Building a statue in that pose with its legs spread so wide would have been an incredible engineering challenge, even for today's standards. Plus, closing off the main harbor for the years it would take to build it seems highly impractical for a bustling trading hub like Rhodes. A more likely scenario is that the Colossus stood on a pedestal near the harbor entrance, or perhaps further inland, overlooking the port like a divine guardian. Imagine it, a towering figure of bronze, its skin catching the brilliant Greek sunlight, a beacon of power and protection. Some ancient accounts even suggest it held a torch aloft, much like the Statue of Liberty, or shaded its eyes with one hand, gazing out to sea. Whatever its exact pose, its presence would have been utterly awe-inspiring. The construction itself was a marvel of Hellenistic engineering. The statue had an exterior of bronze plates, but its core was a complex framework of iron and stone. Workers would have cast the bronze sections, hauled them into place, and then painstakingly assembled them around the internal skeleton. Legend has it that as the statue grew taller, they built a massive earthen ramp around it, which they then dismantled once the statue was complete. It was a slow, painstaking process that took 12 years to finish. Can you imagine the dedication? An entire generation of Rhodians grew up watching this giant slowly rise over their city, a testament to their resilience and their faith. For the people of Rhodes, the Colossus was far more than just a magnificent piece of art. It was the physical embodiment of their identity. It represented their hard-won freedom, their unity in the face of overwhelming odds, and their gratitude to their protector god, Helios. For sailors and merchants arriving at the port, it was the first thing they saw, a clear and powerful statement that Rhodes was a major player in the Mediterranean, a city of wealth, strength, and incredible ambition. It was a tourist attraction of the ancient world, drawing visitors who would then spread tales of its magnificence far and wide. But the story of the Colossus is also a story of impermanence. For 56 glorious years, the sun god stood watch over Rhodes. Then, in 226 BCE, disaster struck. A powerful earthquake rocked the island, and the mighty Colossus was no match for the forces of nature. The statue snapped at its weakest point, the knees, and came crashing down. The pride of Rhodes, the wonder of the world, was reduced to a mountain of shattered bronze and stone. The king of Egypt, Ptolemy III, offered to pay for its reconstruction, a testament to how significant the statue was throughout the ancient world. But the Rhodians, after consulting an oracle, decided against it. They believed that by erecting the statue they had somehow offended Helios, and the earthquake was his punishment. And so the ruins of the Colossus lay where they fell for over 800 years. Even in its broken state, the Colossus remained a marvel. The historian Pliny the Elder, writing centuries later, described visiting the ruins. He wrote that few men could even wrap their arms around the statue's fallen thumb, and that its fingers were larger than most statues. The hollow interior was filled with huge stones that had been used for stability. It was still a tourist attraction, a spectacular ruin that spoke of a grander age. The final chapter for the Colossus came in 654 CE when Arab forces captured Rhodes. They reportedly sold the remaining bronze scraps to a merchant who carted them away on the backs of 900 camels. And just like that, the last physical traces of the great wonder vanished from the world, melted down to be reused, its bronze scattered across the lands. So why, if it stood for only 56 years and has been gone for over a millennium, do we still talk about the Colossus of Rhodes? Because its legacy is not in the bronze, but in the idea it represents. The word colossal, meaning something of enormous size, comes directly from this statue. It became the ultimate benchmark for monumental ambition. Throughout history, whenever humanity has dared to build something truly epic, the spirit of the Colossus is there. It reminds us that even the greatest achievements of humankind can be fleeting, vulnerable to the forces of time and nature. But it also teaches us that the ambition, creativity, and unity required to create such wonders can leave a mark on history that lasts forever. The Colossus of Rhodes isn't just a story about a giant statue. It's a story about the boundless potential of the human spirit to create beauty and meaning, even in the face of adversity. It is a symbol of triumph and a lesson in humility, a wonder that continues to inspire us to build our own monuments, not just of stone and metal, but of courage, resilience, and imagination. The story of the Colossus, a guardian built in defiance, reminds us of the power of symbols. But our journey through the ancient wonders isn't over. From the shores of Rhodes, we now travel to the coast of Egypt, to the greatest city of the Hellenistic world. There, another wonder stood not as a symbol of war, but as a beacon of knowledge, trade, and scientific progress. Imagine off the coast of ancient Egypt, a tower of light piercing the Mediterranean sky. This wasn't just any tower. This was the Lighthouse of Alexandria, a marvel that guided ships to safety and stood as a symbol of human brilliance. Built around 280 BCE on the rocky island of Pharos, the lighthouse was one of the tallest man-made structures of its time, soaring an estimated 100 meters high. Its design was a masterpiece of elegance and function. A massive square base supported a cylindrical tower which tapered to a peak where a fire burned day and night. But the real magic lay in its enormous polished bronze mirrors. These mirrors captured the fire's glow and projected it far across the sea, a beam of hope visible for miles, guiding sailors through treacherous waters and into the bustling harbor of Alexandria. The lighthouse wasn't just a navigational tool. It was a bold statement from one of the ancient world's greatest cities. Alexandria, founded by Alexander the Great, was a beacon of knowledge, commerce, and culture. The lighthouse embodied the city's ambition, showcasing its mastery over nature and technology. Its revolutionary design combined precise architecture, sturdy construction, and innovative optics, long before such feats were common. Inside, ramps and staircases led to the top, where ancient engineers tended the fires and reflective surfaces, creating a system that anticipated modern lighthouse design. It was a triumph of science, blending mathematics, physics, and practical engineering into one magnificent creation. But like so many ancient wonders, the lighthouse was not destined to last forever. A series of powerful earthquakes between the 10th and 14th centuries brought the magnificent tower crumbling into the sea. Its stones were later salvaged for other buildings, and for centuries, its image survived only in historical texts and sketches. Yet, its legacy endured. The Lighthouse of Alexandria influenced maritime engineering for generations, inspiring lighthouses across the Mediterranean and beyond. The story of the lighthouse reveals a theme that runs through all the seven wonders: humanity's deep-seated desire to reach beyond the ordinary, to blend practicality with grandeur, and to leave a legacy that outlasts time itself. Even in its absence, the lighthouse continues to shine brightly in our collective imagination, a timeless symbol of guidance, ambition, and ingenuity. As we journey through the stories of all seven wonders of the ancient world, a single powerful truth emerges. These monuments were never just stone, metal, and mortar. They were the physical embodiment of human ambition, imagination, and the eternal desire to transcend the limits of mortality. From the Great Pyramid of Giza, which has stood steadfast against the sands of time, to the long-vanished Hanging Gardens of Babylon, each wonder tells a story of creativity and vision that continues to inspire us today. Though most of these wonders have long since disappeared, their impact resonates across the ages. Architects, artists, and engineers have studied their designs, drawn inspiration from their grandeur, and tried to replicate their magnificence. The Great Pyramid influenced funerary architecture for centuries. The Colossus of Rhodes inspired monumental art and statues. And as we've seen, the Lighthouse of Alexandria became the blueprint for lighthouses around the world. Even the myths and legends surrounding the Hanging Gardens and the Statue of Zeus have shaped literature and culture across continents. These wonders also teach us a profound lesson about the impermanence of our creations. War, natural disasters, and the relentless passage of time have claimed all but one. Yet, within their destruction lies a powerful truth. The real wonder isn't just in what we build, but in the ideas, dreams, and human spirit that bring these creations to life. Monuments may crumble and empires may fall, but the desire to create, to inspire, and to leave a mark on the world is a force that endures forever. In our modern world, we continue to chase this same spirit. The new seven wonders, colossal skyscrapers, monumental bridges, and vast scientific achievements are all echoes of the ambitions that built the ancient wonders. They remind us that the urge to create something extraordinary is as alive today as it was thousands of years ago, a timeless thread connecting us to our ancestors. Ultimately, the seven wonders of the ancient world are more than just historical curiosities. They are a celebration of what humanity can achieve when imagination, skill, and determination converge. They challenge us to dream bigger, to reach further, and to believe that our efforts can leave an enduring mark. As we close this journey through deserts, seas, and ruins, we are left with a final profound truth. Civilizations rise and fall, and monuments may vanish, but the human spirit, the desire to create, to inspire, and to reach for the extraordinary remains immortal. The wonders of the ancient world live on, not just in stone or story, but in the enduring spark of human ambition. They are a timeless testament to our unending quest to touch the skies and leave behind a story that will echo for eternity. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories from our amazing past. We'll see you in the next one.